Good morning, Blue Shoe Crew. It is Drew, and we are going on another adventure. This time, we are going to Winchester, Virginia for the Independent School of Winchester, Virginia. And I'm going to teach them my famous, you can't really see it, but it's the Steps to Success Motivational Program, which I put on for a lot of different schools. In this program, I teach 5 core concepts that everybody needs, no matter what they define as success. Everybody needs these 5 core concepts to achieve their dreams, to climb the steps to success to their goals. Let's go. And here we are at the Independent School of Winchester, and take a look at this view. Whoa. We couldn't have asked for a better day. It is 75 degrees and sunny. So I'm gonna get the show all ready. We're gonna start the magic show in about 35 minutes. Let's go. Now, I wish I could have made this video a little bit longer and showed you guys the actual Steps to Success magic show, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to. So instead, what I did is I'm Drew. So I drew some pictures instead. All right, so today's show, Steps to Success show, started out with this strategy, the S. And I gave each kid a little note card and a marker, and they drew a stairway up to the top. At the top, they drew a picture of their goal. And my example was me being a magician. And they drew themselves at the bottom of the stairway. And the first part, the strategy, was teaching them that they need to map out their steps to success. No matter what your goal is, you have to take it one step at a time. So of course you need to know what those steps are. Obviously you can change those steps as you go along on your journey to success, but I showed them a magic wand. That's right. Then I showed them a school project where I learned a lot of the education, we'll get to that later, the education needed to become a magician. I took that school project, I rolled it into a tube and gave it to an assistant. I held up my magic wand and I made it disappear. But then the assistant looked inside of that tube and there was the magic wand. So we are moving on to the next one, the T, which stands for teamwork. So we played a little bit of basketball. I had an assistant and we made those basketballs actually disappear and magically land inside the basket with a little bit of help from my friends. Then we moved on to the teacher's favorite, the education. For the education, I did a little bit of mind reading. That's right, I predicted a picture that a kid was gonna draw. I predicted a word out of millions of words in a book that somebody chose. They chose one word out of a million. And I was able to read their mind because I've read that book millions of times. I've memorized every single word in the book. That's called education. Then we finish up the education section with a calculator trick. They typed in a bunch of different numbers, multiplied them, divided them, subtracted them, even added them together. And well, that book that the assistant was just using, we turned it over, and it turns out the number that they chose, 793.8, is the exact Dewey Decimal System for where you guys can find magic books in your local library. Then we moved on to the Pitfalls section where I taught them, well, if you hit a pitfall, you can either persevere through the pitfall, but if it's really a brick wall, then you gotta pivot and go around. Just like in basketball, we learned how to pivot once you stop. You're not really stuck, you can always pivot. So to teach them a little bit about pitfalls and perseverance and pivoting, we had my favorite assistant, Mr. Nuggets, help me. That's right, Nuggets has always dreamed of flying. He's tried it with his wings, but he's a chicken. He can't fly with his wings. He tried it with a super chicken cape, but that really doesn't work either. So we tried a different way. We learned from our mistakes, and we used a rocket ship, and we sent Nuggets to the moon, over an assistant's head, and it landed right back on the other side, inside of a magic hat. That is one of my favorite tricks, and it always teaches you perseverance and persistence. Then we moved on to the last trick, the final letter, S. And that final S stands for start. today. So I encourage the kids on that little note card where they drew the stairs with their dream at the top and them at the bottom, is to write down just a few simple steps that they can take today to start working on their dream. So of course, if their dream is to become a basketball player, they better start practicing basketball today. A super simple step that you guys can take today to start chasing your dreams. And for that last trick, we actually went back in time. Of course, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. But if you can't do that, then today is the second best time. And you see, the entire time during the magic show, I had a wooden board. And on that board, there was a card stapled. That's right, really stapled to the board the entire time. And I had a girl pick a playing card. She was holding onto her card the entire time, but I put on my time-traveling helmet and I went back in time just a few minutes. I took the card out of her hand, then I went back in time a decade to when I first started doing magic tricks. And I stapled that card to a plank of wood. And well, here we are in the year 2021 when she went over to look at that card, which was stapled to the plank of wood the entire time. She took it off and she found out it really was her signed and dated card. It was a miracle. All the kids truly enjoyed the show. All the teachers were great helpers. So I need to say one more great big, huge thank you. Yes, thank you to the Independent School of Winchester. I had a great time visiting you all and sharing my magic and sharing my steps to success. I hope to see everybody soon. Until next time, guys. See you later.